Octopus Girl. Hi, I'm Markus Patten, and this is Octopus Girl. This is a story of how this delightful piece of artwork came to be. It's an epic story full of drama, intrigue, passion, fury, and melodrama. And as all good stories, in the year of your Lord 2019, we start off with an origin story of a long time ago. I've always drawn, written, created worlds of fantasy and the like until I discovered music, until I discovered the bass. And oh, what a sultry temptress she was, how she lured me in by, quite frankly, just being easier and quicker and a lot more fun to do. Seriously, it's kind of immediate, the quality of the music that you're making. If a piece of music you're working on is shit, it's immediately noticeable that it's shit. Also, if it's good, it's immediately obvious that it's good, with instant gratification of a piece well done. And performing on stage, well, that's just the nuts. But you can work for days at a time on a piece of art before you realise that it's just janky as fuck, like with its art lean, its wonky eyes and colour palette that not even a blind toddler would have chosen. So I stopped focusing on art and I started focusing quite intensely on music. That's why I'm in London. And I thought I became quite good at it. The music, that is. No one else agreed. And luck would have me broken at 3 o'clock in the morning, unable to face the prospect of starting a new band, the fifth one, and starting at the bottom in London again. But that's a video for another time. Hey, look what I did there. I set something up. That sounds like something I can waffle on about for about 11 minutes while I paint an astronaut. Well done, Marcus. Well done. So, when the music stopped, I returned to drawing, but I had become rusty. I had become old. So my sister stepped in and she's like, there are things on the internet called drawing challenges. You might like to try the Monster Girl drawing challenge. 31 days of drawing monster girls. That sounds like something you do. You'd like, innit? Innit, little man? That sounds like something you'd enjoy, isn't it? Yeah. I was like, yeah. Yeah, it was. I did quite enjoy it. I've done the Monster Girl challenge a couple of times now. The first time, my Octopus Girl was like, okay. Actually, sorry, this is the first time I've seen this in a couple of years. Like no, that's a hard no. I guess what really goofed it up for me was my use of pro markers. Yeah, that's it. So, having fucked up the first monster challenge, I decided to do it a second time, and they came out a lot better. And I would say that the Octopus Girl, that came out really well. I was quite proud of it. Like is it a t-shirt? Maybe it's worthy for a t-shirt design, a print maybe. It's like yeah. That lit a fire up underneath my bum, and well, that fire was quickly diffused. Wait 1 second. Right, as I was saying, I was really proud of the second piece. I really dug the flavour and the flow of it. I thought this is something good I can be proud of. I can stick that on a print, stick that on a t-shirt. I was like, congratulations, Marcus. Have yourself a well-earned drink. And then I started watching YouTube, and I found this speed paint by this well-known prominent YouTube artist, and it's basically the same fucking thing. The same composition, the same layout, basically everything, the exact same picture. And I was like, and I was like, fuck. And then I was like, fuck. And then I was like, fuck. She probably Googled the same thing I did, like girl, an octopus. Same reference forms, same reference photos and stuff, probably the same nugget of inspiration that spurred me to create the same thing. It spurred her too, so no harm, no foul. It's not like I can accuse her of plagiarism or anything, because like who the fuck am I? Seriously. Who the actual fuck am I? That's empty. Silver linings and all that noise. Probably a good thing in the end. One of the problems with trying to improve oneself and be better at the old artwork and everything is the fact that you notice all the flaws, the glaring flaws, like what is up with her eyes and her nose. And I swear to God, I used to be able to draw this stuff until I got instructions on how to draw it, and now I know what I'm doing wrong. Christ. Ignorance is bliss after all. Anyway, this seems like a good point as any to go back to the actual speed paint. Back to you. So I started again, in more ways than one. Since the beginning of this piece, I've changed my computer 3 times. I've changed tablet 3 times, been through a bunch of different iterations of Photoshop, until I couldn't bear it anymore, and now I'm on Clip Studio and Sketchbook. Fires were lit, extinguished, lit again, and extinguished many times. Almost like it was a vicious circle. But now this piece is getting finished. Now I'm going to finish my Octopus Girl. Sorry, just one thing. I don't mean to rag on Photoshop. I like Photoshop. I have done since, ever. The reason I switched to Clip Studio, other than the perspective rulers, which I fucking love, and which were really bad in Photoshop, was the amount of RAM it kept using. It motherfucker kept crashing. I mean, I stuck it out and for as long as I could until I was like, fuck it, Google, which program uses the least amount of RAM and won't crash while I'm mid fucking stroke? And voila, Google told me about Clip Studio Art. I was like, all right then. Second computer died, and I had to get the third one. I didn't bother reinstalling Photoshop, and I've not really looked back. And now you know something deep and personal about me, a secret that I haven't even told my wife. I mean, it's not like she gives a fuck. I did try, but seriously, not one fuck was given. So we're now in the home stretch of Octopus Girl, and we've been at it for a while, and something is off, and it's the face, which is what happens when you return to pieces over time. Should be a one and done thing, yo. The face wasn't based on anyone in particular, or anyone at all, really. Until it was the eyes. Considering that's the main focal point of the image, they just weren't cutting it. So I was stuck, and as with all things in life, when I'm stuck, I googled Salma Hayek, and that's who I based the eyes on. And now the eyes pop because they're based on a reference. It's supposed to be plucked out of nowhere. The things I wanted with this piece was to have tattoos on the tentacles, because I love me some tattoos. Tattoos are my life. I decided on Aztec inspired patterns. I was listening to the You're Dead to Me podcast, and they made the Aztec sound pretty cool. And because I'm easily persuaded, on to the Pinterest boards I went. But once I started going and this piece was taking all the time in the world, I realised that the Aztec designs, the more intricate ones, were making the piece really busy. So I stripped it back. I removed the more intricate ones, and I changed the more simplified ones, and then I also cottoned on that the black to red motif with blue dots was actually really cool, and I like that. So the design became more simple, more striking, a lot less cluttered. I think it works better this way. Right, because I'm not particularly good at colour, I tend to use a complementary colour scheme that is pretty much mainly monochromatic. Guess I can't fuck it up too much if I'm only using 2 colours. If there's no choice, then there's no wrong choice, I guess. I find this is quite a good technique for just getting the most out of a piece. If you constrict yourself a limited amount of tools, you'll get the best out of those limited tools than if you try and use all the tools and you don't use all. You better to be the master of one than the master of none, I guess. You can also press against those restrictions and come up with something more interesting. Good tip for art, I guess. Or not. Up to you. I then did so yeah, I set up this little value chart, and then I did this little lighting chart with that's what this little ball is to help put the color in a bit more context. So it's not more abstract. Like this is the lightest, this is the darkest. But midway through, I found another method for choosing color, the Kawacy method, as I guess it will forever be known as, because that's the Instagram account who's been accredited with the technique via the other Instagram account where I found it. The method is, instead of going like in a straight line down in your palette, you zigzag your across your palette using your picker that way. That's how I came up with this palette here, which I found is more dynamic and more interesting, and I think I'll be using it from here on out. The Kawacy method, as it forever shall be known. So yeah, this is the final piece. 3 attempts, 3 computers, and 3 tablets later, here we are, Octopus Girl. I promise the next piece won't take nearly as long. I mean, it probably will. I am a scatterbrain. If you want, you can head over to my Redbubble account. You can get it on all their various items, from t-shirts to sketchbooks to phone covers. You can get A4 or A3 prints directly from me from either my Etsy store or my Patreon. If you've liked this video, please like, subscribe, share. If you want, you can follow me on all the various platforms. If you don't, well, fair play. Have yourself a lovely day. Hasta mañana.